Well, hello everyone. Here we are in Biwabic, Minnesota, still. For those of you that tried to watch the show on Tuesday night, you know that it didn't work out very well. It was streaming poorly, and it only gave about 17 minutes of the show, and it chopped it off and all that. So we're trying something different here. Today's Friday. It took us all this time to get everything set up that we need to try to make this work because we're not going to be able to stream this live apparently while we're on the show. So we had to put a new operating system on my wife's computer and download some new software and learn how to use it and figure out how to make it work with our audio interface and all these things that we already know how to do at home and don't know how to do here. So,
But now we do.
well, sort of. We'll find out if we know how. So we're gonna, I think probably for the rest of the tour, we'll have to do it like this, where we just have to record this and then upload it, and then you guys, I guess she notifies you on Facebook or something, and then you can find it and see how everything's going. We must have discouraged someone because our subscriptions have dropped now since Tuesday. We still have our URL, but some people weren't happy with us apparently. That's okay. If you're not happy, go somewhere else and get happy. So I'm trying to remember what we did. Do you want to give
a little update?
Yeah, give an update on the tour so far, and then we'll try some stuff.
Basically, we left last Wednesday. We got out, left Lindell about 10 a.m. and
A week ago.
Yes, a week ago.
Not
yes,
last Wednesday.
A week and 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So we took off from Lindale, and we're in our little red sports car, a Mazda RX-8.
Our little red four-door family sedan.
Oh, okay, in case our insurance agent is listening.
Yeah.
And we made it to Wichita, Kansas by late that evening, and we spent the evening with some really good friends, Mark and Randy Pendergrass. Mark we've known for 40-something years, and he's an awesome artist and musician in his own right, and
Singer,
songwriter, everything. So we had a wonderful evening with them. Then the next day we head out, and over the course of 2 days we made it here to Biwabic without incident. Had a fairly good time, fairly easy.
And we went through St. Paul and got here before the riots.
That's right. Then we have done some awesome stuff since then. We sang a few songs on Sunday morning and then came back and did a concert on Sunday night, which we hope to be able to post to YouTube if the guy who
someone
taped it will.
Yeah, someone videotaped it to put on 4 of the local channels up here, and he has said that he'll send us a copy so we can then put it up on YouTube.
And that was about an hour and a half concert that night.
Was it?
6 to 7:30.
Okay.
Yeah. And since then we've been doing some of the regular work we do. God has really blessed us with some wonderful new friends who have a guest house that they've turned over to us. So we have been styling it here the last few days. Wonderful countryside, wonderful drives, wonderful places to work. Tuesday we did. We went with them to do puppets in the park, which was a lot of fun. The little town of Biwabic has a cool little park with a giant moose and an old time pavilion, and so we did puppets in the park, and that was great fun.
I think it's a giant fiberglass moose, not a real giant moose.
But I guess he's a statue of a real moose that used to frequent these parks.
Oh, was the real moose that big?
They say almost.
Okay. Don't make him mad.
So tonight I think that's about it for the update. We're getting ready to head for Duluth on early Sunday morning. We're going to be there, the same kind of thing, a few songs on Sunday morning, and then a concert Sunday night at Gospel Tabernacle in Duluth. So if you're in those environs, you're welcome to come and see us. I'm going to try to make sure all the details are posted on our jimand.com calendar and our Bongo No Point calendar as well. Then after Duluth, we head to New Richmond, Wisconsin, where we will be for part of that week. Then we're going to Siren, Wisconsin to get together with Agape Force friends. Then we'll tell you, by then we should have another thing telling you where we're going from there.
Okay. So I'm glad I don't have to remember all that. I just have to ask her, and then she puts on her little phone and
Says, what are we doing today?
Yeah, turn left and go 12 miles and turn right. So, yeah, this week I was hoping to do a tribute to one of the earliest influences on my music career, and that was Ricky Nelson. Rick Nelson was very influential. I think probably, like I said the other night, I had records when I was a kid. I even had 78 RPM records that were kids' records, and I had some smaller 7-inch, I guess the 45s. I guess the kids' records were 45s. I don't know. My mom just had a record player in my room, and I could just pop on the needle and play them. And the first songs I got were silly stuff like Alvin and the Chipmunks singing the Christmas song, or I think a band called the Playmates singing the song Beep, 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 his horn went beep, beep. So I had these like funny little things. But when I started to get really more into the music, the first serious music I got was a 45 by Rick Nelson, and it was a two-sided hit. It had Travelin Man on one side and Hello, Mary Lou on the other, and they were both great songs that I really liked, and I didn't know at that time how great his band was and what an amazing guitar player James Burton was. At a certain point in history, Elvis Presley hired him away to work with him because he was so good, and he was an innovator. This guitar player, he's the one. For all you guitar players out there who like to put light gauge strings on your electric guitars, you can thank James Burton. That was his idea. He moved all the strings over one and got a banjo string and put it on there for the light string, and then he got famous for the way he could bend and do all this stuff, and then he got with a guy named Ernie Ball, and they created light gauge slinky strings. But Rick had an amazing career. His mom and dad were both musicians and singers. His dad was a band leader and a singer. His mom was a singer. One of the things we mention sometimes when we play is that the song that Dream a Little Me. The first recording of Dream of Me was done by Ozzie Nelson and his big band. So their musical thing goes way back. And Rick came
sung by his mother Harriet.
Well, that's what I was told, but I looked it up. She didn't join the band until after that song was recorded. So she may have sung it in the band, but the original recording, I think, was probably, I don't know, I've never heard it. I don't know if Ozzy sang or if it was just an instrumental. It wouldn't make any sense to do it as an instrumental, but anyway, that was the connection there. And I'm just saying that Rick Nelson had a musical background, musical parents, and he came by his talent naturally. So the first song I want to do, I don't think Travelin' Man was his first song. In fact, I know it wasn't. His first song was a song called I'm Walkin', which he got from Fats Domino. And Fats Domino, I heard Fats Domino talking once. He said, I was really glad when Ricky Nelson sang that song because as being a songwriter and getting songwriter royalties, I didn't have to work for about a year after that. And but he did it. What happened was in real life, he had a girlfriend. He was driving around Hollywood, in Beverly Hills somewhere, and some Elvis Presley song came on the radio, and his girlfriend started going all gaga over Elvis. So Ricky turned to say, well, I'm making a record. And she said, oh, yeah, right. Well, so he had to go home and say, Dad, I got to make a record because I told my girlfriend I'm going to make a record. And so they did an episode where he goes to a dance, and I think as I recall the episode, he was a drummer. He was already playing drums and playing musical instruments by the time he was 16, 17, whatever age he was, and so they had him. Then I remember seeing the episode. The band leader or whatever called him off the drums, said, "Can you come up and sing a song?" And he sang "I'm Walkin'." The 45 was released that next day, and in 1 week the song sold 1 million copies. He'd never had a record out before. Nobody had ever heard him, but he sold 1 million records. But this one was the first one I bought, and I don't know. we're going to use tracks, but it's too much hassle. I'm just going to play the song with my acoustic guitar, and we're going to sing Travelin Man for you.
Going to be unplugged.
Yep. There you go. And that song was played on the Ozzie and Harriet show more than once, I know, because there was one version that was kind of like this one I did, where they cut out the guitar solo. Oh. But there was another version where Ozzie Nelson made the first music video, and he's been credited with that. Rick Nelson doing the first music video. His dad, of course, was a producer, director, writer. He did all that. How many? 14, 15 years, some whatever, 17 years. Yeah, they did the show. So he was a writer and a director, and he wanted to do something, so he did it looked kind of like a travel log where they'd show Hawaii and then they'd show Alaska and then all this stuff, and they did a music video. So that was the first music video, and even in the Smithsonian, they show that in there for the first music video. And so he was always had a great band, great musicians. He had good songwriters. Occasionally wrote some songs himself. And I said the other night that this next song was a little bit of an inspiration for what we do at home with Jim and Dee, because there was an episode where he did this next song, and I just want to do it because of the way they did it on the show. He just sat down on the couch, and there were a bunch of people, friends, hanging around, and he just sat down there with his acoustic guitar and sang this song. There's a place where lovers go to cry their troubles away, and they call it Lonesome Town, where the broken hearts stay. You can buy So he did that one, just sitting on the couch. So that would be at home with Ricky, and I guess.
And our friends are sitting on their own couches in their own homes.
Yeah, well, I guess it's not quite
or
the
at their
same.
own computers watching.
I guess it's not
here
quite the
with
same,
us.
but.
Yeah.
And then there was a song that I had this friend Mike McClellan who was around since I was about 7 or 8 years old, and we were listening to music together. And he always knew. He said he always knew that if I ever did anything with music, I'd always end up singing this next song because he knew it was one of my favorite songs. And it was a really good song that I liked because it seemed to show a somewhat vulnerable side, I guess. Rick Nelson was the first one for whom the term teenage idol was ever used. It was I can't remember now if it was a Life or Look magazine. I think it was a Look magazine. They were big magazines. They weren't the kind we have today. They were big magazines like that, and they had a picture of Rick on the front and an article about him being a teenage idol. That's where that phrase came from, and he didn't like it, but what could he do? He was just a guy who just wanted to play music and had to deal with all the issues of people saying, oh, he only made it because he was already famous on TV and this and that. But he did do some movies. He did what was that one, Ensign something or other? I don't know. He did a movie where he was a guy in the Navy, and he did one I saw where he was in a Western with Walter Brennan and Dean Martin, and maybe it was John Wayne or something. No, I don't remember what it was called, but it was just he sang a duet with Dean Martin in that one, but he didn't. It seemed to me he didn't really like acting. He just wanted to do music, so he did. But this song was called "Teenage Idol," and I just liked it because it was. I guess it seemed autobiographical and not what you would expect from a guy who was a teenage idol. 2, 3, 4. Some people call me a teenage idol. Some people say they envy me. I guess they got no way of knowing how lonesome I can be. I need somebody to be my baby, someone to tell my troubles to. I got no time to ever find her, 'cause I'm just passing through. I travel around from town to lonely town. I guess I'll always be just a rolling stone. If I find fortune and fame, and lots of people know my name, that won't mean a thing if I'm all alone. I get no rest when I'm feeling weary. I gotta pack my bags and go. I gotta be somewhere tomorrow to smile and do my show. I travel around from town to lonely town. I guess I'll always be just a rolling stone. If I find fortune and fame, and lots of people know my name, that won't mean a thing if I'm all alone. Some people call me a teenage idol. Some people say they envy me. I guess they got no way of knowing how lonesome I can be. How lonesome I can be. Ooh.
Sorry.
There you go. That's my tribute to Ricky Nelson this week. I knew him mostly as Rick, not Ricky, because I did listen to him when he was young, but when he got into the 70s and late 60s and 70s, he started doing lots of cool stuff that I really liked. He was never as popular again. His only other big hit after about 1963 was Garden Party, which was based on a true experience that he had. And but he did pioneer the country rock music, and he did lots of stuff. And he was recording up until the time he died. He was still traveling and touring and recording. So he was a big influence on me wanting to become a musician. And so thanks, Rick.
Well, we got one more song to do.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of our original songs. We like to do at least one original every week if we possibly can. And one of the things I really enjoy about doing At Home with Jim and Dee is that it is helping us to dig down deep and remember and work up again some of the songs that we used to do on the road a lot, both during Agape Force and later in the interim years, like in the 80s and stuff. We went on the road a few times. We did a lot of writing still, and we finally kind of slacked off because our lives sort of settled in to norm, and we worked on projects sometimes, and we still did music, but we were more, we're kind of, Jim especially is the kind of guy who he really doesn't like to do something unless there's a need for it. And so now we're back with our YouTube channel and At Home with Jim and Dee and on the road. And so not only are we thinking about writing, but we're brushing off some of the songs that we used to do that we haven't done in a long, long time. I like this song. It's called All in All.
And it is one we haven't done for a very long time. I had to sit down and figure out what key it was in, and I played it a couple days ago when we did it's the song that got cut off on Tuesday night. So I hope I can remember how to play it, since we haven't. I didn't think. Yeah, I didn't think. Hey, we're gonna do a video. Let's run through the song one time. But we'll see how it goes anyway.
You're my all in all. You're all I've ever needed. You always light the way. You're my everything. And though it's been repeated, it is true for me today. You're all
Okay, there you have it. It's not live like usual, but we're recording it to the computer, and then I'll see if I can get this uploaded in the next little bit, and she'll let you know when it's up and ready to go.
I will. And one other thing I kind of sort of learned this week, and I have yet to try it in real life, is the Facebook streaming thing. And so maybe while we're on the road, if there's times when we can't do this show live and have to record it, I can start doing some other little live stuff and experiment with that and see how good we do with it, learning that.
Okay, so thank you. Don't forget to like us. Keep trying to get people to subscribe so we can get a better following, and it gives us better placement, and other people can find us easier. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you soon. Bye now.